Hello and welcome back. This is part 5 of the Abramelin journal, and I'm just going to carry on reading. I think you know what this is about by now. If you don't, check out the playlist and check out part 1 with the explanation. So it's the 22nd of December 2010 at 8:20 a.m. and it's summer solstice. Remember, I'm in Joburg, South Africa, so the seasons are different if you're watching this in the Northern Hemisphere. Sin is being too far from the center. God's will, His power, love, energy rains down upon us. But we have a skin that filters out and blocks the acceptance of the energy. The same applies in traditional craft, where our goal is to reach the center, to find our place in Old Dame Fate, who spins without motion. Being too far from the center means that we spin around it, and the further we are from it, the faster we spin with motion. We must become still. We must find the center, break the skin. That's the entry for that day. Maybe I should give a bit more of an explanation here. So, Old Dame Fate, imagine Old Dame Fate being the center. You've got the center and the circumference, okay? So, Old Dame Fate is the center. Now, when you were a kid, you probably played on you may have played on a merry-go-round. Depending on how old you are, I suppose. I'm sure my daughter played on a merry-go-round when she was a kid, but anyway. So with a merry-go-round, you stand on the outside and you push, and it goes round and round and round. But you may have experienced where, if you're on the outside, you can feel the force of it pulling you. But as you move into the center, things get a lot stiller. The stillness starts to happen in the center. And it's the same thing here. If you are too far from the center, your life just spins like crazy. I think I hit my microphone there. You just spin and spin and spin with incredible force. But the closer you get to the center, the less that force becomes. So the goal in traditional craft is to get to the center, to Old Dame Fate. So I obviously put it in also the same context with any religion, actually. If your religion believes in God, then the plan is to get as close to the center, close to God as you can, because God is everything and no thing. Then you need to get to the center from the circumference. That's the plan. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Anyway, let me carry on. So, 22nd of December 2010 at 7:46 p.m, summer solstice. A very simple instruction tonight. If I want to have knowledge and conversation of my holy guardian angel, then I need to know my Nefesh better. I thought I did, but obviously not as well as I should. I will be going through the 3-week process of getting to know my Nefesh. That is, speak to it with a mirror, listen to it through dream, and then communicate with divination. A necessary part in the process in order to retain memory of the conversation with the Holy Guardian Angel. I will be doing this in the mornings. Side note, the Nefesh is, in Kabbalistic practice, they speak of the three selves, or the three selves, higher self, middle, and lower. So it's the Neshamah is the higher self, the divine self. The Ru'ach, which is the middle self. I've forgotten the title for it, but anyway, I'll get to that later. And then the Nefesh, which is the instinctual self, the lower self. So, to explain it very briefly, I'll make another video of this, and because I need to explain this in more depth, because it relates to a lot of other practices and stuff that I do in the practical Kabbalah explanations or videos. So the Nefesh is the instinctual self. The Nefesh knows everything. It has knowledge of past, present, and future of the entire universe. And it can basically go anywhere, do anything it wants to, but it's instinctual. It has no memory. The Ru'ach is the middle self, that is what retains the memory. So what your nefesh has experienced, with you in particular, then your ruach will remember. That's where the memory is stored. So yeah, that was a very brief explanation of the nefesh. If you want to know more about it, have a look online, but specifically have a look at Yacoba Swat's books. I usually put a link in the description for his books, especially when I'm speaking about Kabbalah, because it's an excellent reference, and he's the one who taught me Kabbalah. Right, so to carry on, where are we? 5 minutes. Okay, cool. All right, 23rd of December 2010, 6:49 a.m. Nothing exciting this morning, just the normal meditation and prayer. I will be doing the nefesh exercise later on, as I need to talk to myself in the mirror to begin with, and sound carries in here. Family still asleep. It's 6:49 a.m. That's disgusting. I shouldn't be asleep at that time. 24th of December 2010. It's 8:10 p.m. The conversation with my nefesh started last night. It seems for the first week I am to make this connection and work with the nefesh before going back to the temple. Some things did come out of my morning prayer and the conversation this evening. An interesting concept of performing quantum leaping to a parallel life that you want to share the energy of, and then doing identification. I don't think I explain identification in this. It's a Kabbalistic practice where I'm going to take the example of a tree. If you want to know what that tree's experienced, then you can actually take your nefesh and place it into, or combine it with a nefesh of the tree. You can do it with anything, rocks. I wouldn't do it with living things, because there is a transference of energy, and you almost suck the energy out of, or you can suck the energy out of whatever you're identifying with. But also, because your nefesh is entering the body of the thing you're identifying with, there's very much transference of your own consciousness as well. So I mean, if you do this with people and stuff, you can basically end up with a lot of problems yourself and cause a lot of problems for the people. So you can do it, but I don't recommend it unless you are extremely practiced and advanced. You know what you're doing. So that's what identification is. It's kind of like shape-shifting, actually, except you don't change yourself. You put yourself into the body of the thing you are identifying with. Okay, continuing. Problem I had was that identification is performed with a nefesh entering the nefesh of the object you are identifying with. It would make sense that all of the parallel lives that we may have share the same nefesh, but I had a bit of a conflict with that also. Okay. After speaking with my nefesh, it seems that it is the Neshamah that is the puppet master, and each parallel life has its own Ru'ach and Nefesh. Therefore, jumping into the nefesh of a parallel life is quite possible, without the difficulty of jumping into yourself or your nefesh trying to jump into itself, which would just be convoluted. After the identification process, the two lives would be joined and sharing energy, so you would be plugging into the energy and persona of the parallel life. This could cause some problems. If you jump into the parallel life and not jump out again, two things would happen, or might happen. Firstly, you would share all of that life's personality traits, so you may become a little schizo. And also, your body would tire as your nefesh is out. It would need to be a temporary connection. On the other hand, once you have identified with an object, even once you jump out, you still share a very strong and personal bond, but maybe not enough to share a life. Okay, this was obviously me just trying to figure out what I'm being told during the, or by my Nefesh at this point. Okay, so 24th of December 2010 at 9:16 p.m. I forgot something from a previous encounter and experience in the temple. Whilst considering the concept of ourselves being cut off from the power, big P, from the power God, needing to move to the center, I found myself in a skin, like a bubble, needing to break through. This bubble was my reality, my consensual reality, and if I broke out of it, I would experience the all. My thoughts led me back to Castaneda, and the remark I made was Castaneda was right. Although people tend to disregard Carlos Castaneda as a fraud, claiming he made the whole thing up and Don Juan Matus never existed, I personally don't give a damn. Whether the tales in the books are true or not, the information that is presented is so vitally important that it cannot be ignored. If Don Juan never existed and Carlos Castaneda made it all up, then the information was put together by Carlos Castaneda, and that information, whether it is a multitude of spiritual beliefs from all systems or not, is very interesting. I have therefore started reading Carlos Castaneda's books again, and will probably relate to the sections of them and lift quotes through this journal. So here's a quote from the teaching of Don Juan. I'm not going to try and pronounce the Spanish, so I'll just go to the translation. For me, there is only the travelling on paths that have heart, on any path that may have heart. There I travel, and the only worthwhile challenge is to traverse its full length, and there I travel looking breathlessly. Don Juan Matus. Some more quotes. Don't get me wrong, Don Juan, I protested. I want to have an ally, but I also want to know everything I can. You yourself have said that knowledge is power. No, he said emphatically. Power rests on the kind of knowledge one holds. What is the sense of knowing things that are useless? Okay, let's do one more, I think. Yeah, one more quickly. Okay, so it's 26th of December 2010 at 9:20 a.m. I took the day off yesterday for everything. I realised this morning I shouldn't have though. The work should have continued in some form. However, the practice has developed and is being shaped into what it should be. It has been greatly simplified, and some of the original methods I intended to include have been eliminated. At this point, the following is what I have been guided to do. Morning, 1. Mother breath. 2. Breathing the universal element with inclusion of desire, inhalation and prayer. 3. Stillness meditation. Evenings, 1. Mother breath. 2. Tuning and toning. 3. Overtoning. 4. Body of light. 5. Journey to temple. 6. Work at temple. 7. Return. And other practices: 1. Reread Castaneda's books. 2. Accomplish quantum leaping. And 3. Establish proper connection with Nefesh. I'm just going to do the next one as well because it's just some quotes. So this was the 26th of December 2010 at 11:29 a.m. This is from the teachings of Don Juan. This is not a joke. You must wait until there is no doubt, and then you will meet him. Do I have to prepare myself? No, you simply have to wait. You may give up the whole idea for a while. You get tired easily. Last night, you were ready to quit as soon as it got difficult. Muscalito requires a very serious intent. This is a problem this is me now, not the quotes. This is a problem I have, and one that I think many of us do. If we don't get results in 10 minutes, we give up, let alone trying for hours. Very true. So if you don't get the results first time, don't give up, carry on. You'll get them eventually if you actually try. And I'm going to leave this one here. This is part 5 of the readings of Abramelin, the Abramelin journal. The Abramelin journal. I think I need to go and have another cup of coffee, actually. Okay, so I keep saying I'll see you in the next video, but I can't see you because I keep saying that. So you'll see me in the next video. Thanks, cheers.